So no matter how much Israel demonstrates and has demonstrated over the years what's going on underneath this hospital, propaganda out there is that Israel's killing all these children and babies and they better not attack the hospital. Hamas is killing people and doing things like that because they know Trudeau or Democrats in our country and the media in our country will regurgitate this stuff. IDF soldiers doing a walkthrough showing this terrorist tunnel near the Children's Hospital. I might add, this is Sky News Australia, but since then, they're going room to room in hand-to-hand combat in the hospital. They've moved all the babies in the maternity wards and the cancer wards and everything to a different part of the hospital where they're protecting them. They set up a medical unit that's bringing medicine. If there are people there who are hurt, who they can get their hands on or sick, they're trying to move them into the medical unit to the Israeli medical unit. Nobody fights wars this way. They don't even get credit for it. We sure as hell don't. Nobody does. While they're going hand-to-hand, you know what that means? They're going to lose more Israeli Jewish soldiers. That's what's going to happen. I ask you this, the Hamas mentality, the PLO mentality, the Hezbollah mentality, the Iranian Islamo-Nazi regime mentality, all the mentalities in that region. How about the slaughter of 500,000 Syrians? Nobody even talks about that. Do you think they'd be setting up a little unit for the Jews over there in the corner while they're fighting? Make sure food and energy comes in and this is taken care of and that's taken care of. The United States, under this regime, is pushing, threatening, demanding that a war be fought like some egghead professor has decided a war should be fought. So you're up against the most horrendous scum on the face of the earth. And you're supposed to fight a war with one hand tied behind your back, one leg tied behind your back. Oh, yes, you can defend yourself, but only the way we tell you to defend yourself. It makes me sick to my stomach. All right, Sky News Australia, go.
I want to show you a room where we found all the gear, the operational gear of Hamas. Hamas is using hospitals, like we showed the evidence in Shifa Hospital, in other hospitals.
Now stop a second. As the Wall Street Journal pointed out the other day in their editorial, we have known this since at least 2015. That Hamas has a headquarters, their biggest headquarters under this specific hospital, has numerous tunnels, like webs that cut out from the spokes, into different areas, and that they were using this hospital, the civilians in this hospital. We've known this for almost a decade. And the Biden administration finally confirms the other day, yes, we can confirm this has actually happened. And they pretend like it wasn't. They pretend like it wasn't. What would we tell the United States Marines to do if this were Afghanistan? That the leaders of Afghanistan were under a hospital? What would we tell them to do? Be careful. You know, sadly, that is a bad example because we probably did exactly that, which is why we lost. Go.
Live in Rantisi Hospital, an operation still conducting right now. Look at what Hamas is holding inside the hospital. I want you to understand, this kind of gear is a gear for a major fight. These are explosives. These are vests with explosives. Yeah, it's a body vest for terrorists to explode on forces. Among hospitals, among patients, we have hand grenades.
No, we've been evacuating the Rantisi hospital now for 4 or 5 days, encouraging the people that were taking refuge there to get out. We know for a fact that a terrorist and his henchmen that were with him actually escaped from the hospital while we were evacuating the people from the hospital. Indeed, we weren't. The evacuation took place with our encouragement. We were phoning them, telling the hospital administrators to move out, and indeed, we suspected, we knew, we had the intelligence suggesting that there was what we found. And as you see the images here, it's very clear that hospitals are supposed to be used for healing. not for holding up hostages and utilizing them as terror operations based.
See, the issue here, ladies and gentlemen, isn't proof. Reality, you don't need proof for reality. This is a pen. I don't have to prove it's a pen. It's a pen. This is a book. I don't have to prove it's a book. It's a book. And when you see what they have at that hospital, you don't have to prove it anymore. It's there. This is what they're doing. The problem, you see, isn't proving anything. The problem is, what do you do about it? And so what's the position of Biden? What's the position of CNN and MSNBC? What's the position of people in our colleges and universities? Their position is, don't do anything, because you might hurt a civilian. So no matter how much Israel demonstrates and has demonstrated over the years what's going on underneath this hospital, and apparently also they had kidnapped and had a lot of the hostages in this hospital, the propaganda out there is from this guy Trudeau, who is a fascist pig up there in Canada. Remember what he did with the truckers? This punk is a fascist pig. That Israel's killing all these children and babies, and they better not attack the hospital. Hamas is killing people and doing things like that because they know Trudeau or Macron or Democrats in our country and the media in our country will regurgitate this stuff. That's exactly why they're doing it. Just read their mission statement. You'll see why they don't care about human life. Then you'll know how they play the Western media, how they play actual democracies, many of which are collapsing. Europe is collapsing. The United States, unless we turn things around quickly, is collapsing. They know exactly what's going on. So do the communist Chinese and the other Marxists, by the way. And so it's not a matter of proof. The question is, what can be done about it? Israel knows what needs to be done about it. But Biden, Trudeau, Macron, you name it, they don't want Israel to do what Israel needs to do if it's going to result in the death of innocents. And so Israel is now taking incoming, because it's going through that hospital like volunteers on Christmas. That is, trying to find out who's who. And of course, the terrorists can dress up as patients too. It's a very difficult task that will clearly cost some of these young men and women in the Israeli IDF their lives.
For more, sign up for Levin TV.